What's going on, y'all? Welcome to a very, very special episode of ENA We Got Time. I'm your host, as always, Alex. I'm here with a very, very special guest, one of my childhood heroes, in a sense, Mr. Wally Dixon, but I know him, and most of y'all know him as Main Event. Say what's up to the people, my man.
What's good, bro? How you doing, man? Good to be on here with you, bro.
I appreciate that. Man. It's definitely an honor to be able to interview you. So we're just gonna start. We're gonna start from the very, very beginning. Okay. So, as a child, what age did you start thinking basketball would be like a lifelong career? Like, did you play any other sports in high school and you kind of stay with basketball, or like how was the decision making for you, like going through school?
Well, I was, the average kid in the neighborhood, playing a little bit of everything, baseball, football. As far as elementary school and high school, I played a little football, quarterback, and defensive end. I say about 15 years old, maybe I started taking basketball a little serious. My godbrother, Tyrone Gibbons, and my AAU coach, which is my cousin, Brian Crawford, they actually showed me how to play the game of basketball, but not good enough to where I got cut from 6th and 7th grade. So when I got cut, I said, hold on, I got to take this serious. My background is from South Carolina.
Okay.
Dazzell, Renberg, Sumter, South Carolina. I went down south, worked on my game, came back. I actually went to another school because my aunt was the principal where I got cut from. I said, I'm going to be a shoo-in. But that didn't work. I just wasn't good enough, So I went with my mom. When she came from South Carolina, she came to Linden, New Jersey. So I went to Linden, New Jersey, and went out for the school in the 8th grade. I made the team at Seoul Middle School. We had an undefeated record, and it was on since then.
Okay, gotcha. What position did you play in high school? As you made the team, like
I would say mostly 3, 4, 5. On the wing, getting rebounds. I had like a 42-inch vertical, and then also even playing at that age, at 15, I started playing at Rucker Park in New York. So I was learning the game from so many different aspects.
Okay. Now, obviously, as you can tell, with technology and with the internet, you don't need coaches like you did back in the day to, get the word out for you. You can do it now where you can make your own tape and you can put it on all these social media platforms and everybody will see you. So how hard do you think it was for you to get your name out? Like you said, you playing in Rucker Park, you going down south to work on your game. Even with all that, like, how would you describe, like, the difficulty level between when you were coming up and now, if you had to measure that?
When you playing for the love of the game and don't know about all that extra stuff, get a blue check and, you get certified through social media. And, like, when you playing for the love of the game, you're getting the raw essence of the game. So we've been certified, whether we got a blue check or not. Like, we did it hands-on, grassroots, playing against the best ball players who said they was the best. A lot didn't make it to the league, so we was going after whoever that said they loved that game of basketball, which wound up being street basketball for us. It was a safe haven for me.
Gotcha.
So we didn't look at all of that stuff, but now you got what they call, I guess, it's no knock to them, but it's maybe it could become an element of street basketball, which is content creators. Where they go into the parks, they bring in their cameras, they got the people they're going to play, but, street basketball is all about what you're going to do at that time. Is the essence, adapt to any environment, and that's the culture that I represent, and it came from just me doing what I do, on that basketball court and especially on that blacktop.
For sure, and I appreciate everything you said. I was more so speaking on, like, the exposure to, get the college offers or get these, these teams, these G League teams to look at you as far as, like, getting your tape out in a sense. You get what I'm saying? Like you said, you played high school ball and all that, but, what you think the difficulty level between now and then to, get yourself out there to be seen more and, possibly further education and, ball? For the times we're in right now, I'm not the OG that's going to knock the way that things has changed. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be basketball no matter how things change. But now, you could ship in a bunch of your highlights and send out and get viral and this, that, and the third. But to see the difference was, I think, and there's no knock to this generation, the difference with us was, you're going to get that same highlight tape you saw us in live in person. So my thing is, at the end of the day, whatever you got to use to get you in the door or get you on that field or that court or whatever you want to do,
you got to make sure that you live up to those expectations and not live off of a highlight.
Okay, got you. So, as far as, I watched y'all growing up. I came to see y'all a bunch of times in Atlanta. Y'all came to New Orleans, I want to say, Texas, and all that. What was the deciding factor for you? Like, you were like, you know what, I'm gonna take this and one stuff seriously, and I'm a focus on, getting on that. I watched, the documentary, and I don't want to say anybody's name because I don't remember exactly who said it, but it seemed like a couple of guys were a little skeptical on joining the platform of And1. So how was that decision for you to push that, so to speak?
So basically with the And1 situation, it was the summer of 99. I was playing for the Rucker League, and Greg Marius, the CEO, God rest him, he took a team down to Virginia Beach. That's where I met And1. So the tape with Skip to My Lou was already out, Volume 1. And Skip to My Lou, my bro, I give him all the credit. He was the one who created the mixtape, as far as his highlights and stuff. But I was offered for Volume 2 to give him all my highlights. I'll be Volume 2. But I said, you know what? Within 24 hours of thinking, I'm going back to my bros that I played ball with back in the day in the trenches, And I said, you know what? I could bring 5 of the best guys to your brand and market and represent your brand. So that's how that whole thing went. We was using that platform to get, like in the 90s, you're talking about coaches overseas wanted to see real footage. So we was playing against real ballers. It was all about, coming from the Rucker atmosphere and the culture. We had a flair to our game, an excitement to our game that was within the confines of the rules. So that's why, it was just different. I think with now it was just a little different because, like I said, you could send in a highlight tape or what have you,
Okay. Now you join And1. Things are taking off. Y'all are traveling. If you can remember, because y'all have been all over the world. If there were some favorite cities or even countries that you really like, or just some places you hadn't been but known there was a big basketball culture that you were excited to play. If you can just name a few.
Just in school, I always hated like history for some reason, like far as like the European history and different things like that. But that basketball have took us to 23 countries. I say that humbly. So we was able to see the effect that we had not only on basketball, but for street basketball. Learning what street basketball is. So a lot of countries, I'm like, wait a minute, they play street ball here. We in Serbia. We in Manila, Philippines. We in Australia, and it's just a different style of play that we have, which is actually our own genre. And, it was just amazing to be able to see the different cultures and how they embrace, the culture that we have in the United States.
Okay. Now, like you said, y'all traveled, all over the U.S. Y'all went to all these countries. Now, y'all are blown up. Y'all are everywhere. I want to say y'all are on ESPN at this time. Correct me if I'm wrong. I was still, a kid at this point in time. But I remember when the video game came out, how surreal was it for you to see yourself, like y'all have become something that, a video game. People play Madden, people play college basketball, people play soccer, but you guys, a different brand of basketball, have your own video game. How surreal was that for you?
It was very surreal because, remember, you're talking about a group of guys that just love to play the game.
Exactly.
So, excuse me. So any accolades that came with it, things like that, that's surreal, you don't think about that till after. Like, we really impacted a culture. We shifted basketball in general. Look how they play in the NBA now, so the video game came, it was hype. Everybody like, you got your own video game, this, that, and the third, but it don't sink in until after you see what the effect that it had. It was a positive effect.
Gosh, I know I definitely played it. Now, here's the question that I saw, you guys play around with a little bit on the documentary, but I want to somewhat get into some specifics. At the peak of your playing days, at the height of your street ball playing days, if you could pick 4 guys to play with, just 4 guys to play against some NBA players, who would they be?
During my era?
Yeah, during your era.
It would be definitely half man, half amazing. Speedy.
Okay.
God rest the dead, Conrad McRae, Ali Mo, and Shane.
Nice, nice. That was actually, I'm glad you said Shane, because that was actually going to be my next question. One of the biggest things I noticed throughout the years of the mixtapes, and I might be mistaken, you guys played 4 games. We only saw the highlights on the mixtapes. It seemed like the chemistry between you and Shane, just to me, was just unmatched. Like everybody played well together. Don't get me wrong, but it just seemed like the chemistry between you and him was just unmatched. How did you guys come about? How did you guys come about that? Did you guys know each other prior, or like what was it?
No. Well, the first time was playing for my guy Mousy Dream Team, and he said, "Y'all got a guard from I got half man, half amazing. I got a guard from the Bronx, Shane." So the whole game he's on the bench. So I'm like, "Yo." He gets in the game right off the bat. He threw me an alley-oop from the other end of the court. I'm like, "Yo, why he wasn't in the game?" So a lot of people don't know that we had that history, and also we had the history of playing show basketball together. So we was able to we just. Anything anybody ever saw, it was never practiced, it was never rehearsed. It was just the chemistry that we had over we talking about 15 years of just playing together, So he know how I ran up the court. I brushed my man off the defense. All he got to do is get in there that basket, and he knew what I was going to do with it. So it was easy for both of us. But throughout the years, man, I say this humbly. I could be wrong, but I think as far as a 1-2 combination, we might be one of the best, at least top 3 in basketball history.
I definitely agree. Like I said, I watched you guys from. Now, granted, I didn't see it when it happened because I was like 5 when the mixtape when the very first one came out. But I've watched all the and like I said, the chemistry between you two specifically was just something like I'd never really saw before. So I'm definitely gonna put y'all up there just from my experience watching y'all on TV and getting to watch y'all live and in person. Of course. Now this probably might be one of the toughest questions because I know you got a lot of them. Give me one of your a memory you probably won't forget, or one of your best memories from when you played at any level you want to pick.
I think one of the best memories I never forget was there was I want to say maybe a challenging guy, right, that was following our Bad Boy team when Mousy merged in with Bad Boy with Puffy. And he always said, I'm a bad boy, my man Keith Slob. And Mousy said, one day I'm going to put you in the game. Long story short, we was playing against one of the legendary coaches in New York, Ron Aclerio team. And Mousy put Keith Slob in. And Keith Slob ran up court, half man, brought it up, passed to Keith Slob. Keith Slob takes a 3, and it was all net, man. That was one of my most memorable moments at Rucker Park, and it's highlight out of all my memories that I could give you of myself, man. Shout out to Keith Slob, bro.
That's amazing. That's amazing to hear. That's wonderful. Last but not least, this is probably one of the most important questions I'm gonna ask you, especially for the young guys who are gonna watch this, and for guys who are on the grind as we speak. If there's any advice you could give to the guys coming up playing any kind of ball on any level, who look up to guys like yourself who made your own way and were very, very, very successful and played at a very high level, what advice would you give to the generation coming up?
It was real simple. I got this patent. What I'm going to tell you, opponents are competitors waiting for a chance to steal yours. So what are you going to do different? It's real simple.
I never heard that. That's amazing. I never heard that before. That's incredible,
it's
man.
Real simple. Opponents are competitors waiting for a chance to steal yours. What you going to do?
That's amazing, man. Look, I want to appreciate you for all your time today. This is really, like, all jokes aside, this is really like a dream come true. Like, I've interviewed other people, but never on the level of yourself, because, like I said, growing up watching y'all and trying to imitate y'all, with my cousins and my friends playing in the backyard or going to the park and trying the tricks I would see y'all do, I couldn't jump as high as you, so, some of them dunks just wasn't going to work for me. But just the overall, just to watch y'all go out there and have the fun y'all did, man. This is really a blessing to have you on my channel, man. I'm gonna give the floor to you. If you got any last words you want to say to the people, you can go ahead and say them right now.
I just want to let everybody know the new my company is called Blacktop StreetBall Association. You can check us out at www.btsba.com. And it's real simple. We gotta get back to simplicity, man. Make sure your next shot is over your opponent and not at your opponent. God bless y'all, man. Main event on the sign out. Blacktop StreetBall Association.
This is ENA. We got time. Mr. Wally Dixon, a.k.a. Main Event, StreetBall Legend, and we are out. Appreciate you for your time, man.
Thank you, brother. Have a blessed one.
You too.